establishing a new organization. I'm Ignacio Arsuaga. I'm the president of CitizenGo, which is our petition website. So, this title, the title establishing a new organization, could be understood in different ways. So you might help me to, it would be good if I knew a little bit about your expectations for this session. What would it, well, welcome.
Thanks.
So what was your idea? Were you thinking about legal issues, about how to establish an organization, how to incorporate a non-profit? Anyone was thinking on that? Nobody?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, that's what you're thinking. Yeah? So 1, 2, 3, anyone else? Can you raise your hand? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, okay. Okay, probably the title is not very self-explanatory. I'm sorry for that. I come from Madrid, Spain, so as you can imagine, the legal requirements, the Spanish legal requirements for Spain, they are quite different from the legal requirements from the United States. So, then we have a problem. I mean, I'm a lawyer, but I don't know American law. This is the World Council of Families, that's why they asked a Spaniard to explain a bit about how to establish a new organization. My presentation, as I mentioned, is not about legal requirements, but it's about how to build a social movement, a grassroots movement, that can impact in public policy, in public opinion, using advocacy. That's what we do with CitizenGo. Okay, so let's start, and I hope that you like my presentation, even if it's not about what you were thinking. Okay, anybody knows what's CitizenGo? So can you raise your hand if you have ever heard about CitizenGo? You know what's it about? Okay, not bad. Okay. So yeah, it's for the ones that didn't raise their hand, it's a petition website. It's a petition online platform that helps citizens raise their voice. Where in public, essentially via sending our individual messages to the people who take decisions. Usually our representatives could be, the executive power, could be a company that, more and more they gaining power and they influence more and more on our lives. And we do it in order to defend our values, which are, the right to life, from the moment of conception until natural death. It's marriage, understood as one man and one woman, and their children, family, natural family, freedom of religion, freedom of education, and all the values that we share and that we cherish. So we want that the people who share these values and the organizations that share these values have a voice, and that eventually impact in decision makers. Okay. Okay, so if you wanna create a new organization, you have to think on the forest and on the tree. Okay, so what's the forest and what's the tree? I think, this metaphor, we use it in Spain, in Spanish, and I'm pretty sure that you also use it here. So, what are we here for? So that's the forest, so it's the mission. What do we want to achieve with the organization that we want to create, or the organization with which we are already working. Okay, so any organization that participates in this Congress, it has to do with defending human rights and liberties against the intrusion of the government, against the people that have a different concept, that want, that think that mainly that the family is bad for the progress of society. So we want to defend our own liberties, the liberties of our co-citizens, of our neighbors, and also human rights, starting with the right to live, but including all the real human rights. You know that right now Human Rights Award that has been manipulated, that has been overused, and many people use this word human rights in order to defend the right to kill a human being, which is abortion. Of course, that's not a human right. So the people who wrote the Declaration of Human Rights at the United Nations after World War II, they were people who were not thinking on abortion at all. I mean, they were thinking on real human rights. So that's what we try to defend. We want to develop, whatever our organization is about, we want to develop civil society. We think that, people that unite in families and people that unite in other organizations, in different organizations, different types of organizations, they make civil society stronger. And when civil society is stronger, the chances of our governments, entering into our private lives and into our freedoms, are lower. Yeah, and then that gets more specific when we talk about each group that where we can work. We have groups that try to impact that directly public policy, like ourselves. There are other groups that try to help, marriage or couples, that they, might have a problem or whatever. There are groups that try to, feed the poor, that try to help, many different things. But all these groups have in common, precisely, that they try to make a better society, and they try to make, to build a better society from the society. I think that's the only way. So, okay, very important, relationship with members of our groups, or people that participate in our activities, or donors with other organizations. And it's important that we understand that we are part of a coalition. So it's not our groups, the only groups that are out there. And if we want to be successful and change society, we need to cooperate with other groups. And I know that you are already doing this in the US. I mean, this Congress is part of this mission or this objective. Also, important to take care of the relationships within the organization, with people that cooperate with that organization, and also with decision makers, also the media. So what's the tree? So this is the forest. We're talking about our mission, about our values. What's the tree? The tree are the objectives, the strategies, the action plans, it's going to the specifics. We want to change the world. We want to help, married couples. We want to, to feed the poor, the hungry, or we want to, make sure that abortion law is abolished. So whatever it's our mission, we have to make sure that we are choosing the correct objectives, strategies, and more specific action plans. So, and we need to be as professional as possible. So if we can, even write down a business plan, and we think about how we will fulfill our mission, what will be the cost, how we'll do the fundraising, and we put that in writing, that's a good idea. And of course, if you are gonna visit any potential donor, you should, give out the business plan. That's what we're doing right now. CitizenGo, by the way, works in 11 languages. We're based in Spain, but here is Caroline, who is based here in the US, in Boston, and yeah, we have people different. So right now, for instance, we have a Polish girl that's doing a great job in Poland, in Warsaw, and she's gonna open a small office. She's gonna hire a couple of more people, and she's preparing already the business plan, because that's the only way that we can really measure what are the implications and eventually be successful. Yeah, the techniques, how will we do this? Will we use the email as our communication method? Will we use social networks? Will we use direct mail in order to fundraise and also to communicate with our social base? Will we do direct lobby? How do we do it? you will organize rallies. Those are the methods or the paths that we're going to follow in order to fulfill our mission. And of course, fundraising is part of these techniques, is part of the tree. So if we learn how to do fundraising and we do it well, the chances that we will fulfill our mission increase. Because as you can imagine, as everybody knows, we need people and we need money, we need resources in order to make an impact. So we have the people, we have our own organization, our own brand, and we have our mission. Which element is the most important? What would you say? Could you raise your hand, the ones that think that is the mission? Okay. What about your organization? Nobody. The people? That support you? Okay. That's very American. the people, with the people. So, I mean, of course the mission probably is what I would say is the most important, We're here for something, to do something, but we need the people. And the mission is not, the idea that I have about my mission because I'm, the CEO, I'm the president, I know everything. It's our people that tell the organization, tell the leadership of the organization what should be the mission be. Of course, there is, when an organization starts, the mission is defined usually by a small group of people. But then, as more and more people join, they like that mission. Of course, they wouldn't join if it were differently. But, the people, tell us where we should go and what we should do in order to achieve our mission. Doing polls are very good. Talking to our people, if you can do some, focus groups. So it's very important that we communicate a lot, and communication is not only about sending letters, fundraising letters or emails. It's about, receiving the responses from our people and creating that dialogue. So, do we really want to change the world, or want to change our country, want to change our city, or we just want to, mess around, do things, win some battles, but eventually lose the war? Because, okay, in my opinion, the people who defend the culture of life, ourselves, the people who believe in natural family, we're losing the war. I mean, the term culture war was created by you, the Americans, and I think it's very appropriate. I mean, it's actually a war. They don't like us. They like that we would disappear from the public sphere. But it's not a war where you are shooting each other. It's a culture war. It has to do with the souls of the people, with the minds of the people. And right now, I mean, we're losing the battle. The Supreme Court decision on marriage from the United States is one example. But I mean, we're losing ground. And so we want to just, maybe win one battle and, keep on losing many others. Or we want to really, change things and eventually win the battle. So, okay, by the way, if we want to win this culture war, we need a lot of people, I mean, not 100 people, we need thousands or millions of people. And we need a lot of money, resources, both people and money. And we don't need, $100,000. We don't need $1 million. We need much more than that. So that's why, we have to do a good job. I mean, I'm talking we as a movement. But, since the movement doesn't depend on what we do, we must think on our different organizations. And each organization has to work as hard as possible, to cooperate and to, eventually make it possible to win the war, which is not for granted. I mean, even if we do our best, we might lose, or we might win maybe 100 years and we might not see it. But we have to do as much as we can. I think that's what God asks each of us to do. And of course, it's part of us being citizens, members of a community. So of course we have to be, good husbands, good wives, then probably that's our main responsibility. We have to be, good workers and do a good job. If you're a businessman, whatever. But of course, we also have to make an impact on our community. And also, that's very American. That's your tradition to get involved. To get involved in society and with other people and get together and try to improve society and our communities. So how do you do it? Mal Warwick, he's an author. He's written a lot on fundraising. I don't know if you've heard about him. Okay, he's one of the most known fundraising consultants and authors. He's liberal. He's not on our side, but he explains the techniques, and that's part of the tree, that we mentioned. And I would recommend if you can, read his books. All of his books are very good. So if you are working with, helping one organization as a volunteer, professionally, whatever, it might be good if you read some of his books. This book is called The 5 Strategies for Fundraising Success, and the 5 strategies are exactly these 5. So what Mal Warwick says is that each organization has to decide what's the strategy, the number 1 strategy, where almost all of the efforts will be would be put in, So it's and of course he talks also about a second strategy that would, complement, that would make this first strategy evolve and develop. So, what are the 5 strategies? So, he said that strategic thinking is about deciding which is your first strategy, which is your second strategy that helps the first strategy develop, and then forget about the other 3. Because what's easy to do is just say, okay, all strategies are important, I'll do everything. And that's not strategic, so that won't work. We have limited resources and we have to do this type of thinking, and it's not an easy thinking. So what are the 5 strategies? Growth, involvement, visibility, efficiency, and stability. So if you get the first letters of these 5 words, you get an acronym which is GIVES. So, okay, what's growth? Growth is, having a bigger list, having more and more people that support your work, people that with whom you communicate, people that donate to you, to your organization. So, if that's your first strategy, you have to make sure that you build a list. How do you build a list? Well, there are many techniques. You can organize a meeting and have everybody sign and give you the email address. That's one idea. There are many others. What we do to grow our list is online petitions. So we create a petition, we forward it to our people, to the people that are already in our list. They sign, and once they sign, they are invited to share the petition with friends and family. So more people sign, and that's how our list grows. You can do direct mail, you can exchange, or you can rent a list, and some people will respond, so they will be added to your list. So that's whatever the means, whatever the way, if your strategy is growth, you have to make sure that you have a lot of people to which you can communicate. So if you just have the names, that's not good enough. You need the names and the email address, or the names and the postal address, so that you can send direct mail, or the emails or the telephone number, whatever may be your case. So second, involvement. So involvement is about making sure that your people, they're in our list and then you don't communicate anymore. That's no good. You need to make sure that people participate in your campaigns. They must receive a lot of communications from you, and that's the only way they will feel emotionally attached with your mission and with your organization. So you can again send a poll by email or by snail mail, and people will respond, and then you will communicate the results of the poll, and then you will prepare your action plan in accordance to that goal. So it's making sure volunteers, if you have, an office, it would be great if your people get to your headquarters and help you with whatever you are doing. So, any way, it's a good way. It's also about informing to your people about your financial statements, about, your plans, about what you have done. Newsletters are very good, especially paper newsletters that you send via direct mail. They are much more powerful than the online newsletters. Okay, third strategy, visibility. Visibility is making your organization known to the people that potentially could support you, or could help you, or could further your mission. Of course, if you are, if the New York Times talks about your organization, that's great, but maybe that's not the public that you are more interested in, or maybe yes. But it's making your brand, your organization known to the people that care about you, or about your mission, about what you are doing. How do you do visibility? Well, if of course you're in the media, you might organize like a big demonstration, a big event, make sure that the media is there. Social networks, they are very good, so that people, that might be interested in you, will know about you, might share you. So that's also involvement. If they are sharing, it's not only about visibility. So, well, that's third strategy. Fourth strategy is efficiency. Because efficiency, as you know, it's getting the biggest impact with as less effort and less resources as possible. So it's not wasting your money, or wasting your time, or wasting your people's time. Yeah, I mean, it's about not spending. I mean, there is a risk, which is, with these many boards like efficiency, so they want to, and some donors love efficiency, and the risk is, I won't send this direct mail because it costs money, and then I will just send one email. And as you know, fundraising works, better if you send a direct mail. So you have to be efficient, but you have to be careful, and sometimes you have to spend, and you have to make an effort. Fifth strategy is stability, and that has to do with making sure that your organization will be fulfilling your mission in 10, in 20, or 30 years, or 40 years. Because it's very possible that our missions, we won't win this culture war, or we won't, if you're helping the poor, probably in 40 years there still will be poor around. So we'll need to make sure that we'll be doing a good job, we're doing better than now in the long term. And yeah, I mean, universities, they do, I don't remember the word in English. That is when you get some funds, and then the interest, the grant. How do you call this?
Endowment.
Endowment, that's it, yeah, thank you. I'm sorry. So this type of strategies, it's usually stability, it's a good strategy like for very big organizations like hospitals or universities, something like that. No? If it's a grassroots movement, usually stability shouldn't be, I mean, it depends. You have to think about it, you have to think strategically, you have to meet, several times with the people that think strategically within your organization, maybe the board, but maybe other people that, even volunteers that are helping further your mission, and they, you should meet and think about it and dedicate, a few hours or a few days in order to make sure that, we are going where, we really want to go to be most successful. So this is the three-step process that we have discovered. This is our model. This is what we do with CitizenGo, and that we've found out that many non-profits do, and also many, even that's Spanish, even for-profits companies do. Okay, so okay, we already talked about growth. So it's grow your list, nurture your list, and ask. Or sell if you are a company, So if you just go to somebody and try, and ask for a donation, and he or she doesn't know about it, of course that person will give to you. If that person, signed one petition and, the day after you are asking for a donation, that person, that there is no relationship. It's just, it's like with romance. If you just meet a girl, you don't ask her to marry. I mean, you have to, meet a few times, and then, so you're nurturing your relationship. So in this case, some authors talk about, building friendship or even building love with the members of organizations, the people that help us, that support us. So the more, by the way, the more you communicate, the quicker that relationship will be built. So that's second step, nurture. Third step, close the deal. So it could be, you can ask a woman to get married, or you can ask your member, your potential donor, to donate, or you can, if you are a company, you can ask your potential customer to buy your product. But you have to ask in a direct manner. So you cannot just say it in indirect ways. So you have to be very clear and ask. It could be you sign a petition, like we can ask somebody. So we're asking. There's one call to action. It's very clear. It's very direct. There are not 3 calls to action altogether. It's just one call to action. In each communication, and then you try to close the deal, whatever it may be. Okay, if it's a company, of course, if you go to marketing books, they would talk about lead generation. You have this lead generation for dummies book, for instance. So it's about building your list. And companies, what do companies do? They create this ebook or this white paper with very interesting information in it, and then they say if you want to download it, you have to fill out this form. And people fill out the form and they join the list. So you are generating leads. Leads are potential customers. They can be called prospects, they can be called leads. Then you have second step, lead nurturing. That's the word companies use. So it's nurture that relationship. Make sure that people like about you. So don't send hard asks. You'll do it in the third step. But right now you're just building a relationship. So you can send interesting information. This video that you liked, you can share it. This other document, whatever. But you keep on communicating. And again, it's a two-way communication. You have to use, if you are using the email, and somebody responds, then you should respond again and make sure that you care about your people. So and people feel it. If you just care about the money, if you think people are like ATMs, then people will know about you and will realize that it's like that. So of course, we really care about our people. So that's why we grow that relationship or help that relationship grow. Third step is convert. So you convert lead into a customer, or into opportunity and then a customer. That's what companies do, and the most successful companies, they do this very well, the 3 steps. I think that if you are good in 2 of the steps or in 1 of the steps, and you are very bad at the other one, then it won't work. You will not be successful. You have to be very good at the 3 steps. If let's say that you're very good at nurturing and converting, but you don't generate leads or you don't grow your list, then you can have few people that will be very good. They will give you some money, but they are just few. If you are very good at CitizenGo is very good at lead generation. We have a list of 3 million people, and we started 2 years ago. So many people sign, many people share. Also, I'll talk at the end of my talk. I will explain what CitizenGo a little bit more in more detail. But organizations create petition at CitizenGo, and then we share the names with that organization. We have the organization grow the list. But we're growing, and that's very good. We're pretty good at converting, at asking for donations. We learned that from the Americans. You are very good. I'm Catholic. In Spain, you go to Mass, and the priest, the pastor, will never ask for for fans, in a direct, in a clear way. He will always, there's one moment at Mass where there is like a basket and you give some money, but there is no ask, real ask, for donations for whatever project the parish may be involved or whatever. So here in the States, I've been to Mass. I've been living in New York and in Oregon for a couple of years, and it's completely different. So the pastor would, almost every time ask for money for a specific project, and he would say, so that's the way you have to ask for funds. And it's not only the pastors, it's everybody, and also the organization. When we so that's asking, and that's the third step. So we don't do a good job. We might do a good, we may have a lead, a great list, a very big list. We might be very good at lead nurture, but if we don't convert, then we have. I was saying, by the way, and I got lost. So we're very good at lead generation. We're quite good at converting, at asking for donations, but I think we're pretty bad at lead nurture. So of course, at the end of the day, because the list is so big, we get quite a bit of donations. But I think we really need to do much better in lead nurturing. And my understanding is that this second step, lead nurturing or friend raising, so it's not fundraising but friend raising, is probably the most important step in the three. You need the three steps, as I mentioned. But if we have to choose one, to select one, I would say that it's the second step, it's friend raising. Okay, by the way, if you want to interrupt me, ask any question or comment on anything, that would be great. Okay? So if we can do this a bit more interactive, I'm sure that it will be more interesting for everybody. Okay? So how do you nurture that relationship? How do you do this friend raising? Well, with communications. Whatever may be the channel. They are not fundraising communications, they are other type of communications. A lot of communications, the more you communicate, the faster and the stronger the relationship will become. So don't be worried about sending too many emails. I don't know if that's your case, but I've found many organizations that they say, okay, if I send, hello, good afternoon. If I send, one email per week, maybe that's too much. I should send just one per month, otherwise people will unsubscribe. Some other people say, I'll send one per week. If I send 2 or 3 per week, people will get tired of it. And it's exactly the opposite. The more emails you send, the more the people will like you and will feel emotionally attached with you. And will, well, first of all, they will know about you. If you just send 1 email per month, it's very possible that in the second month they will not remember who you are. We receive hundreds of emails every day, and so we don't have time to review everything in detail. So people will forget about it. So in order to avoid this to happen, what you need to do is to send a lot of emails, if that's your channel. Direct mail. I read a book very recently, a book on fundraising, written by an American, and he was saying that in order to maximize the income, you should send a fundraising appeal via direct mail every 22 days. So that's a lot of letters per year. And most of people, especially in Europe, they would think you are crazy. You send that and people will kill you. They will hate you. They will. Nobody likes to be asked. But and when he said 22 days, it was not his personal opinion. It was based on polls, data, study, tests. You can test the program and send to different parts of your house file, of your database, in different or with a different periodicity. That word, it's okay? Do you know what's periodicity?
Frequency.
Yeah, okay. So, and they found out that it's 22 days. Okay, the communications also need to be relevant to our people. So If everybody, has the same profile, and then it could be one communication forum. If you can detect different segments of your database, it could be different topics. Like, for instance, we deal with life, family, freedom of religion issues, other issues. So if we can detect what's your interest, I will send you our communications related to the topics of your interest. So if you can target the message, that's good. It could be topic, it could be age. If you know the age, it could be like, for instance, if you know the age, you can send a picture of older people to your older your older members. If to the younger, you can change the picture, and maybe it's the same message, but you can change the picture, or you can change the message. So be as targeted as possible. I mean, that sounds like very daunting, like very difficult, but today there are tools, there are technologies that help us do this. It's still not too easy. It's going to become easier and easier, but well, if you have a small database and you are doing telemarketing, you can check out and see what this person likes, or if you record the emails that are open, the clicks, the donations that are made, for what causes, you can review that, and then the conversation will be much more relevant for that person. Very important, be emotional, try to touch your people's hearts. People will not respond to your call to action because you give arguments. I mean, people don't care about arguments, they care about stories that you can tell, and things that you can accomplish. But they will do it if you are able to write in a manner that raises people's feelings. It could be, I mean, when I talk about feelings, I'm talking about, it could be love, it could be compassion, but it could be fear, or it could be anger. I mean, those feelings are probably the strongest feelings that make people do something. So it could be, attend your rally. It could be, send a petition or send a donation. And also, this is something that's been discovered pretty recently in the marketing world. If you can use different channels, then your message will reach your people in a much stronger way. So if you can send one email, and 1 week after a direct mail letter, and then 3 days later a phone call, that it's very likely that that person will respond to your call to action. I mean, sometimes we don't have the resources, and we just, maybe we just can't use the email. I mean, of course, also we can use social networks. We can use whatever, if we have budget, we can use Google Ads, or whatever channel. Or the most strongest channel, by the way, is face-to-face, or it's visiting your donor. If you can visit, I mean, America is very good. If you're a local organization, maybe you can do some efforts. And Morton Blackwell, he's the president of the Leadership Institute. He always says that the best, if you are starting a new organization, the best thing you can do, I don't know how, he calls it like the fireproof fundraising formula, something like that. You don't remember? Okay, so it's, visiting the people that that might have some disposable income. So people that, they have some money saved, and you ask, face-to-face meeting, you present a plan, it could be one-page plan. What do you pretend? What do you want to do? What will be your expenses? What income do you need? You go with that. You try to convince in a face-to-face, in a personal meeting, that person. And Morton Blackwell says that it's a fireproof formula, so it will work. I mean, not everybody will give to you, but somebody, if you know several people, will give some money. You know what's the Leadership Institute? Anybody? Okay. Yes. A few of you. It's a conservative training organization. It's an organization that trains conservatives to be successful, and they do different trainings, but they have lots of trainings related to fundraising. They are based in Washington D.C. Well, actually, they are in Virginia, but very close. So if you want to learn fundraising, I recommend that you go to one of these trainings. They also used to organize one training every year in London, in Europe. I would always send a few people from my organization to that training to learn fundraising, even if they were in different areas. If they don't do fundraising, I don't care. You need to learn how to do it. Okay, so this 4-1-1 rule was created, I'm sorry, I don't remember the name, by one marketing expert that writes a lot, that blogs a lot, Joe Pelusi. It's like he's American with an Italian last name. So he says, this is, what he says, for every one self-serving tweet, you should retweet one relevant tweet of another person, another organization, and most importantly, share 4 pieces of relevant content written by others. So, most of your communications cannot be, self-promotion. This is what I do, give us a donation or something like that. Most of the communication should be sharing relevant, interesting content. If we translate this from Twitter to email, then we would say for every one fundraising email, you should send one soft promotion email, and most importantly, send 4 emails with what we call report back. Tell what happened. You asked for money to this project, you should tell your people about it. Or if you ask your people to sign a petition, tell them what happened. Did you win? Did you lose? Launches and relaunches of petitions and other content sharing emails. It could be, you have these. Content can be original, written by you, prepared by you, or it could be, content prepared by others. You don't need to have, a lot of people writing many things. But, content it's very important. And when I'm talking about content, I'm referring to, again, white papers, ebooks. It could be a video. It could be, it could be just audio. It could be, whatever you may think about. So, of course, content is relevant for our people. So this has to do with the nurturing. So if we are only asking, if we're only asking for donations, if 80% of our emails is to ask for donations, people will not open our emails. That's for sure. So yeah, so in Europe, as I mentioned, we are afraid of asking. We don't like asking, and we don't do it. So our campaigners, we have one campaigner per language, and in some languages we have per country. Especially the European ones, they don't like to send fundraising appeals, and they say, we will burn out our database. People will stop opening our emails. And what I say, that's not what you need to do. What you need to do is to send a lot of action alerts, petitions, and other content. And then, of course, we need to send, what we do is we send two emails per month that are fundraising appeals. And that's why how we fund our work. And we need to do that in order to pay the bills and to pay the salaries and to pay everything. But if you want to have people that open your emails and that read them and that click on your emails and that send petitions, you need to send a lot of communication, not just a few. Okay, so this is our model, our business case. And it's again the 3 steps that I mentioned. I'm sorry I'm repeating a little bit, but I think it's very important that we understand this scheme, this process. We build a list. Online petitions are, and I've read about it and I have experienced it, is the best way in order to build a database of emails. So, you could do like companies do, and you have to fill this form in order to access this special content. That's one possibility. Or do a poll, or even an online game if you want to, know how conservative you are, and you have to fill out this questionnaire or whatever, and then you give me your name. in order to know the result. So there are many techniques, many ways to do it. The best way to build a list is online petitions. That's, I mean, we've seen it. I mean, it works extremely well. And I've read several authors that tell that, exactly that. So that's how we build it. Second step, we activate our members and maintain them active. And that's why we send so many emails with petitions, information, all types of contents. Because we want to make sure that our members are active. They are not, I know a group from Mexico that they were extremely good in building a list, and they had a list of, in the state of Monterrey, northern Mexico, maybe of 1 million people, but they would send almost no communications. So when they decided to do some fundraising, it didn't work, because people, I mean, they simply wouldn't know who was writing that letter. Third step, we ask our members boldly, that's how you do it in the US, for donations to support our work. Very important, each email that you send, one call to action. So if you want to send 2 calls to action, what you need to do is to send 2 emails. As I mentioned, it's good to send a lot of emails, so don't worry. But never, that's why online newsletters don't work too well. Because in a newsletter, you have like topic number 1, topic number 2, topic number 3. And then people get confused, we're very busy, and then we don't have the time to decide what's the important issue, what's the important topic. So we just delete that email. So if you're talking about email, my suggestion is 1 email, 1 call to action. That means also that you should never send 1 email with no calls to action. So you just want to tell what happened or whatever. You have to imagine, you have to think, and try to detect what call to action you will include there. It could be maybe just share this story or share this document in Facebook. You include like a button that people click and share it. Or it could be share this video or whatever. Or keep it and print it, and it could be like 1-page argumentario, how do you say that in English? Like with arguments so that you can discuss with, print it and show it or whatever. So always try to think on what call to action will be included in that email. If you want to be really successful, you need to so let's say that you have a fundraising campaign. A fundraising campaign via email is made of several emails. So you never send 1 fundraising email and just you get your donations and that's it. Or if you wanna people to come to your event, you have to send a lot of emails to make sure that people usually the open rate in most lists is around 15% in Europe. In the US it's lower, it's like 12%. So, and not always the same people open your email. You need to send a lot of emails to make sure that a big chunk of your people read what you are sending. And some people might, open your email, read it, they say, okay, this is not the moment for me to donate, or I will just wait a couple of days and then I will donate, and they forget about it. So that's why you must send, 2 days afterwards or a week afterwards, another email with that fundraising with the same call to action. So these are again the 3 steps I explained, and they are grow your list, nurture your people, and ask for donations. These final,
Question.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I had a quick question on the fundraising emails.
Yeah.
Do 2 a month, but you said, I guess the 2 you send several of the same. Is it the same email you send several times?
Yeah, sometimes you change it a little bit, or you include like a first paragraph saying, in case you haven't seen this email, I'm forwarding it again to you.
Yeah.
So the emails, by the way, have to look very like a personal communication.
Yeah.
From one person to another person, one individual to another individual. So if you, we never send just 1 fundraising email. We always send a minimum of 2 fundraising emails. Usually 1 week after the second would send it, we would send it the next week, 7 days after. The year-end fundraising campaign, we send around 7 emails, throughout December. And usually on the 31st, we send 2 emails that day, the same day. People will receive 2 emails. Some American groups send much more than that. Like National Organization for Marriage, they send a lot, and I think it's a good practice. And I asked Brian Brown, okay, why do you say so? Like they say this, they send maybe every 2 days one fundraising appeal, no? Like 15 emails in 1 month. I said, that's too much. Don't you think that's too much? Or he might even send more than that. And he tells me, okay, we always consult. We always see what happened. If people gave or the people didn't give. And what they've seen is that, every email they send, they will get approximately the same amount as the previous one. Not all emails work, but if they send, let's say, 20 in 1 month, maybe 15 emails will work pretty well. So that's why they send. And that's our experience too. When we send like 2 emails or 3 or 4 emails asking for funds, many times all the emails raise the same amount of funds. So if we just send 1, let's say we send 4. If we send 1, we'll receive 1/4 of the amount that we raise with the total amount. So that's why you have to send, to resend your fundraising. So people, especially people who are worried about or they don't like to ask because they feel bad because they think that they look like beggars or whatever reason, they just send 1, and it's crazy. I mean, except if you have a great donor that will give you all the money that you want, but that's not very usual. So you need to, do well in fundraising. So that's my recommendation.
Thanks.
Thank you. Any other question? Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah, just related to that, because of the 411 thing. So
Yeah.
how does that work if they're sending out 15 fundraising emails a month?
Yeah.
Are they just sending emails more than once a day? Because do they actually send out 4 nurturing emails for every 1 fundraising email?
Okay. National Organization for Marriage, they when they do these campaigns, they send many more fundraising appeals than other types of emails. So my recommendation would be, okay, you want to send 15 emails per month, send another 30 emails, with a different content. So that means that some days you would have to send 2 emails, which is a bit crazy. People think that's crazy. But, or you can do that during 1 month. You cannot do it all the time because people will get tired of you. So you just, let's say you're in campaign December and then you'll send 15 emails. It can make sense. And they review the statistics, and for them it makes sense. But I think that they would get better results if they would send many more emails with other types of content. Okay? Good. Okay, so the funnel. In marketing, they explain you that converting a prospect or a lead into a customer is something similar to a funnel. So you have to take your prospect from, of course, if there is no prospect, if you don't have the data, so it's not in your funnel. But you put it into your funnel, and you have to help your prospect go from stage 1 to stage 2, and then to stage 3, and then to stage 4, and then finally convert it into a customer. This funnel was written by HubSpot, which is a marketing automation platform, American, and HubSpot is thinking on companies, not on non-profits. But for non-profits, the funnel is pretty similar. We'll find out in a moment. So you have strangers, you attract them to your website. You can do it via, if it's. I mean, I'm talking now about online, but if you are, if we talk about offline, the offline world, it's pretty similar. But we're going to talk now about the online world, about the internet. So you attract strangers. You can do it via Google Ads. You can do it via Facebook ads. You can do it via SEO, search engine optimization, so that you have great content. People look for, abortion, and then they find your website. They go there, and then you convert that anonymous stranger into an anonymous visitor of your website. You still don't have the names, but you have attracted that individual into your website. How do we do it with CitizenGo? We do it via the email. So we ask our people that once they sign, they share our petition. So it's not like you are surfing the web and you see this advertisement. It's Caroline signing one petition, and once she signs, sending one email to her mother. So it is not the CitizenGo organization that Caroline's mother doesn't know about it, but it is her daughter that is asking the mother to sign this petition. So that it works very well, extremely well. So I would say that 99% of the growth of our leads comes this way. And I mean, some people share the petition via Facebook and Twitter, and we get some new names from there. But I would say that majority of the growth comes from people signing and then forwarding the thank you email or sharing this petition via email with relatives or with friends. So once you have somebody on your website, the IP, the Internet Protocol address. Each computer has one IP, but you don't know the name, you don't know the country, you don't know the email address. So you need to transform your visitors into leads, or into prospects, or into members, however you call it. So that's converting your visitors into your leads, and you do that via online forms, landing pages. We do it online with online petitions. So people, they must find somewhere in your website. So you are not promoting or asking your people to share your home page. You are asking your people to share a specific page within your website that has a form in it, with some fields. You might just care about the email. That's perfect, and please don't include too many fields in your forms. So ask as less information as possible. So let's say that you just need the email address. That's perfect. So your form should be email address and sign or send or whatever your button may be. But very important. Always include a form, and please include the form in the upper part of your page, of your web page. Don't include it down. Don't ask your visitors to scroll down. So they just must find in a very easy way, with a button in a bright color. Google says that red is the button that the color of the button that works the best. It could be another color, but make sure that it's big enough. That's very important. So you convert your visitors into leads. Okay, then you try to convert your leads into your customers. If it's a for-profit, if it's a company. If it's a non-profit, then you try to convert into your lead or your member into a donor. And my experience is that online fundraising, fundraising via Facebook or via Twitter doesn't work. The banners don't work, so you can have a lot of visitors, you include a banner in your homepage. It's very difficult that people will click on that banner and donate. What works very well, extremely well online is the email. So don't waste time in trying to do fundraising in other channels. If we're talking about online, please do it via email. You send one email with one call to action. It's a bold ask, it's a clear ask, and it's your only call to action. Please donate. Okay? People will click on the email. They will go to the landing page with an online form where they can donate. It could be PayPal, that's very easy to configure. It could be your own, or you have many services here in the United States to get online donations. In Latin America, there are some people from Latin America. The problem is that people are not that used to use the credit card. So that's what's, the way you do online payments, the easy way is with credit card. So we've seen with CitizenGo that, for instance, in Latin America, both in Brazil and Spanish-speaking countries, we don't get online donations. So right now we are thinking on opening other means of payment so that people from Latin America can donate. So that's something that we're working on. Okay, so you have your donor, and what you do with your donor is you delight your donor. You nurture their relationship, and you convert your donor into a promoter. Somebody that not only signs your petitions, comes to your events, sends the donation, whatever, but also talks in a positive way about your organization to friends and family. That's what people do with CitizenGo when they share our petitions. So, I mean, we were talking about companies, now we talk about non-profits. The strangers, we would attract them and convert them to visitors of your website. We would convert them into members, would nurture and close the deal, and close the donation so that they become donors. We delight them and they become promoters. Of course, the cycle keeps on going, keeps on, when you have a promoter, you don't forget about it. You keep on nurturing that relationship. For instance, we copy that from Morton Blackwell. He sends a jar of honey to the best donors, to the Leadership Institute's best donors. What we do in Spain, every Christmas time, we send a bottle of Spanish liqueur called Pacharan, comes from it's like an anisette. I know that wouldn't fit in the States, but in Spain it fits, it's a cultural thing. But you can send your whatever. So this is a very strong way of nurturing the relationship with your people. That's something that you might think of. But you don't have to send a jar of honey. You can send something else, but maybe a calendar, maybe whatever. Or if you are using postal mail, it could be a different thing. But please think about it.
Question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, the question, how do you define the best donor?
How do you find the best donor?
No, how do you define
Oh, the best donor.
what a best donor is? At what level?
Yeah, in the States,
would be appropriate?
most of the people would say that the people that give, the one person that has given the most amount of money, or the bigger amount of money. So that's one way to look at it. It could be your most loyal donor, somebody who gives you every time you ask. It could be, the best donor would be somebody who always gives and who gives big amounts of money. But it could be also somebody who doesn't give that much, but he's talking about your organization all the time. It's a volunteer that comes to your headquarters and helps you. So I think we shouldn't be too, so to say, materialistic, or it's not just the numbers. Maybe that donor that is very, very much involved with you, when he or she dies, you find out that there is a legacy, or there is some, so that those things happen. Okay. So it's a donor that is involved, that is actively participating in your campaigns, in your projects, in your activities. Okay. Okay, so the first 3 steps is about lead generation. It's about growth, the first malware strategy, growth, that would be the first steps. Then, we do it via online petitions. The last 3 steps or 2 steps is lead nurturing, and of course asking to. But you keep the lead, so once you have the lead or your member, you start nurturing the relation, and you never stop with that lead nurturing or that member nurturing, however we want to call it. Okay, so I mentioned very briefly the words marketing automation. Anybody here has heard about it? Nobody knows what's marketing automation about? It's pretty new. It's most big companies in the US, they use it. Let me tell you one example, like Amazon. Anybody has bought anything in Amazon.com website? Yeah. So Amazon knows about you a lot. Knows about what you like. Knows how active you are. If you visit the website, how many times, what you do in their website. They record all that information. And then from time to time, you receive one email with specific offers that might interest you, and that's how they do it. So they use a very powerful in-house developed marketing automation platform. So, well, I mean, they have a lot of programmers, of developers, they can do it. There are some vendors that offer marketing automation, and that we can, use their services so that, in order to send out our emails and to do many more things. That's what's marketing automation. It's like the evolution of email marketing. It's the evolution of the tools that we use in order to send out a lot of emails to our people. There are many different companies. Most of them are from the US. In Europe, there are just a couple. So it's something very new. In the US, there are a lot of companies that do marketing automation. So marketing automation is a tool where that records all the interactions, all the demographic data, everything we know about our people in a single database. Usually, we use like a content management system like WordPress or Drupal in order to create our website, and then we use another different tool in order to send out our emails. And these tools do not talk to each other. And with marketing automation, you have actually one single database where everything is included. Once you have that, you can create segments, and you can identify, who are the most active people, or who are the people who share the most, or the people who are most generous. And then you create or what topics people are, each person, not in general, not your list, but what each individual is interested about. So if they care about life or about whatever topic maybe, and then you can send segmented, targeted campaigns to each person. You can do lead nurturing in an automated way, so you don't need to have somebody who is looking at, who makes a donation, and then I will call, and then I will do this, I will send this later. The system records all interactions, including donations, and then you determine what will happen when that interaction happens. Let's say your first donation, somebody who has never donated to you, sends your first donation. So that triggers an automatic campaign of, let's say, 3 or 4 emails. In the first email we say thank you for this donation. Next day we say, we realize that this is your first donation, so welcome on board. We appreciate this very much. Maybe that second email is written by it's automated, so it happens automatically, but it's signed by the president of the organization or the CEO. Sorry. And then there is a third email with this video that explains what's your organization about, how do you achieve your mission. And then a fourth email that says, okay, we used your money, to do this, and we might show some pictures of how the money is, changing things. So this is a series of 4 emails or whatever number, and it's automatic. It's automatic. It happens. So it's not like a blast campaign that we say, okay, we're going to send this content to all of our database. That's what we do with CitizenGo until today, and hopefully we'll start doing triggered campaigns. So something happens, and then this guy, this individual will receive these communications. Could be a text message to the cell phone. It could be a letter. You can even automate that, or you can have somebody in your organization that writes. If it's a donation of more than $50, then you will receive a notification, and then you will send this paper thank you letter. Or if it's more, let's say, than $100, then you will receive a notification telling, okay, you must call this guy, because it's a big donation. Whatever. I'm talking about in this case the criteria or the criterion that I'm using is the amount of the donation, but it could be a different one. Okay. Of course, that doesn't have to do always with donations. Could be with signing petitions or with doing something. anything. So, and the other thing that marketing automation is pretty good at is analytics. Is okay, knowing what emails work the best. You know, which donations come from which emails, which signatures come from which emails. Yeah, and then which countries, we're a global organization, CitizenGo, which countries are, or which states, are the ones that, if you record that information, are getting the most signatures or the more shares or whatever. So it's very important to analyze the data and do some testing. You know what's A/B testing? You have the same piece of content and you just change one thing. So that would be, that you have the master, that's A, and then you change one thing and you have B. You send out both communications to half of your database, and then you record the results, what resulted in more donations, in more signatures, or whatever it may be. Okay? So there are some tools that help you do that. Some are difficult to use and some are easier. Okay, big data is a couple of words that are very that are used a lot today. So it's being able to process lots of information, and for that you need like big computers, optimized with software that make that computer work well enough. And today we can record a lot of information. By the way, you need to have a database of your people. I forgot to mention that. So this is pretty advanced. If you are very small, you might start with an Excel spreadsheet or with a Google Doc, Google spreadsheets. So it's like, you have Google Forms. You can record the information from there. You will go to a Google spreadsheet, and then you will start from there. When you get more sophisticated, you need something more powerful. But you should record as much information as possible. You shouldn't ask to your people for more information that you need, but there are many other information that you can be recording, like the IP address. The IP address tells you, in which country or in which state that person is accessing your website. You can record that even if you don't need to ask for that information. The zip code, of course, that's something that you need to ask. The IP sometimes tells you what's the zip code, but not always. You can even record what web browser somebody's using, and you say that's ridiculous. It doesn't. It's not worthwhile. Yeah, I mean probably it's right, but it may be. If you are using Google Chrome, you have a different profile from somebody who is using Internet Explorer. That's not the same. Okay, I mean this is very sophisticated. I mean we don't use that, by the way. The browser, information on the browser. Okay, and then so you have the demographic data and you have the behavior data. Behavior data or transactional data. So you are recording each interaction you have with your people. So if you receive a call from somebody, you record it in your CRM or your spreadsheet. That's offline. Or if somebody calls you or you call somebody, you should record that call so that's in the system. And if you leave your organization, whoever remains will know that information. What web page you can record? The pages, the web pages that were visited by your people. Which petitions were signed? What events people registered to, and when they attended. You can record both things. One, the registration, the other second is the attendance. Donations, for sure, you should record the date, the amount, the campaign where that donation came from. Opens and clicks. So most of email marketing solutions, they tell you, who opened which email, or who opened and then clicked on one of the links of the email. That's very significant. If somebody hasn't opened one email in 6 months or in 12 months, probably that email is going to the spam folder. So we can stop sending emails, and then our IP reputation and our deliverability will increase. Personal visit, responses to direct mail, even the responses that come with no donation. You should record that. So any interaction you have with your people should be recorded. And then once you have that information, you can create segments, and you can start sending targeted communication to each and one of your people. So I'm finishing this part of the presentation. Which step is the most important? I think it's friend raising, it's lead nurturing. But the other two are also very important, and you cannot forget about them. So you should work on building your list. You should work on the growth strategy. You should work on the involvement strategy and fundraising. That's very, very important. And also in the fundraising strategy. You should ask for donation in a bold manner and in the correct manner. Caroline, you want to say something? No. Okay. All right.
Question.
Yeah. Right.
So you went from 0 to 3 billion, I think you said, in 2 years?
Million. 3 million.
3 billion?
Yeah.
So how did you actually start from when you were at 0? How did you?
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we've been working with online petitions in Spain, just in Spanish and for Spain, since 2001. So when we started CitizenGo in October 2013, what we did is, at that moment we would have like 400,000 people in our Spanish HazteOir list, and we said, okay, let's see, because we had information in our database, let's see who lives outside Spain. And we got 43,000 people, and that's how we started, with 43,000 people that were in our list and who lived outside Spain. So we started with 7 languages. I would say all big European languages. English, Spanish, Italian, German, French, Portuguese, and Polish. Poland has 40 million people. It's pretty big. And they have a big pro-family, pro-life population. So we started with those 7 languages. 40 million for Europe is very big, for the States it's not that big. And then, we try to find out, to recruit, somebody who shared our values in each language and who was a good writer, somebody who could write in a compelling manner, reaching people's hearts, not people's minds. And, in some languages we were lucky, or in some other languages we didn't find the correct person from the start, but we started growing. And half of that growth, the first year, came from petitions that the campaigners wrote and promoted. And I would say that half of the growth came from other organizations that used CitizenGo, created their own petitions, and then they shared these petitions with their own lists, with their own people. As I mentioned, in those cases, we promote the petition, the other organization creates the petition, and then we share the names. So it's a win-win. And that works almost everywhere. In the States, I think it's a little bit more difficult because all the organizations are very worried about sharing the list, the data. You know very well the importance of the data of your people. But in many other European countries, it worked very well. So we started growing. The first year, the growth was higher than the second year. It was very, very strong. And then, we added 3 more languages, which are Hungarian, Croatian, and Russian. And we just added Dutch, and that's it, I think.
Slovak.
And Slovak, yeah. So right now we're working on both, East and West Europe, Western Europe, and also the Americas with English, Spanish, and Portuguese. So we're hoping to, open CitizenGo in Chinese, in Arabic, in Nigeria, in South Africa. But we're going to do that little by little. That were our plans, but we have delayed those plans because we don't have the resources. We prefer to go little by little. The Asian, like Korean or Chinese or those cultures are so different from ourselves. There's gonna be a bigger effort. Africa, I think, is more similar, but still there are lots of differences. So we feel more comfortable going, with an area that we know about, and then we'll go to other places of the world, because we're actually a global platform. We wanna change the world. So that's the idea. Okay. More questions or comments? Okay, I have another presentation, which is how CitizenGo helps organizations. So if you could tell me, let's try to finish before, we have until 4, but we should finish maybe 20 minutes before 4, is that okay? Because I have a flight to Spain. I have to go to the airport, fly to Paris, and then from Paris to Madrid. Okay, so everybody here is already working or helping for an organization, or not yet? Not yet. Okay. Could you raise your hand, the ones that are already working for an organization? Yeah? Good. Yeah, about half of you. That's good. Okay, so with this presentation, I'll try to be brief. I'll try to show you how you can benefit from CitizenGo. And that's this model that I explained about, promoting. You create a petition on CitizenGo, both organizations promoting it and then sharing the names. This is our mission. We provide conservative citizens and organizations an online platform to manage and foster their participation in the political life, the social life of their countries, to promote life, family, and freedom. And we do this in 2 ways. One, empowering citizens so that they can, citizens, you don't need to be an organization to create a petition with CitizenGo. You can, as an individual, you are worried about this, law that's going to be passed in your state legislature, or this decision that may be taken by your governor or by your mayor, it doesn't matter, or by a company, or you don't like Starbucks because they are promoting homosexual marriage, whatever. As an individual, you can create a petition. Most of the people don't create petitions; they just sign petitions. That's another way they can use CitizenGo in order to provoke change. If you are an organization, you can create petitions, and with that you'll be changing the world in a way. You'll put some pressure on some decision maker, and of course you will be able to grow your database, the list of your members. So the people who sign the petition, you'll have access to that data. So we create this for 2 reasons. One, because we want to make sure that like-minded organizations, are more powerful. They can fulfill their mission in a better way. And second, because it's a good way to benefit, each other, so that we share the names, we also grow the list, and I think that's good for everyone. So CitizenGo is about petitions, it's about change, and it's about human dignity and freedom. So our main tool, we do some of the things. We are, for instance, we have produced a couple of movies on one because one of our campaigns is to help persecuted Christians in countries like Iraq or Syria or Nigeria. So we are producing a DVD, a documentary movie on ISIS, the terrorist group. We have already done another one about Asia Bibi, who is a Pakistani Christian mother condemned to death because she's Christian, essentially. So we want to raise awareness on this. So we do some different things. But our core is online petitions. We want to be successful. We want to, get some victories. So when we launch a petition, it's because we want to change something. And if we lose every petition, if we don't change anything, then we're not successful. And we are trying to change the world and launching online petitions because we have certain values that we think they are good for the community, and we want to propose them, and we want to work for them, and we want to fight for them. So it's not like a neutral petition platform. Of course, everybody can publish a petition. We don't censor. We don't review. So you can create it, and then you click on publish, and it's published. If it's let's say a pro-abortion petition, whenever we know about it, we will delete it. Yeah, for sure, because we have some specific values, and so yeah, okay. So if you want to create a petition, you have to do some research. What's happening, who is the decision maker that can change, the situation, that can make an impact. You have to maybe to read some articles on this issue. You just heard something on the news, and then you might need to go to Google and get some further information. And once you know about the issue, then you go to the second step, which is writing the petition. You have to write like as short as possible explanation of the issue, what happened, what are the actors, what can be accomplished if we get this decision maker to make the specific decision. Then you need to write the letter that the decision maker, that the target of the petition will receive. So this email can be very short, it can be just a couple of sentences, it could be something longer, it doesn't matter. And then you have to write the email that you will send to your people, asking your people to sign your petition. So it's like 3 pieces of content. Again, write trying to reach people's hearts in an emotional way, so that people actually sign. And third step, promote your petition. See, if you just write it and publish it, nobody will know about it. If you don't tell anybody, nobody will sign. We have some petitions, a lot of petitions actually in CitizenGo with 0 signatures, not even the one that created the petition. So that happens sometimes. So you need to promote it. Well, we have here Caroline. She's the campaign director for the USA, and she will be very happy. If you are from Latin America, you can write to Luis Lozada, who is our campaign director for Spanish language countries. So whatever your language may be, there is a campaign director, very happy to help you in all of the stages, especially writing the petition and promoting the petition. We have realized that in order to be successful, we need to be very good with the technology. So our petition tool, I think it's good. It provokes signature by the people, so the people signing and then sharing the petition. So again, one call to action each time. We never send out one email saying, please sign and share the petition. We just say, sign the petition. And once you have signed, you go to a thank you page, asking you to share the petition. Again, the thank you page is just one call to action, which is share the petition. And at the same time, you receive a thank you email saying, okay, again, please share the petition. Okay, so it's a thank you email. You first say thank you. You don't first say share the petition. You just say thank you, and then would you consider sharing the petition? That's what we do. And our technology is pretty good at changing things, at provoking this change, and also helping the petition become viral, so that like a virus, the petition is shared and forwarded from one person to the other. I don't know if it's a good example. Viruses are bad things, and our petitions are supposed not to be bad things. Okay, so this is the scheme. So it's one person that shares to 3 friends. Maybe those friends sign and then share with each one 3 friends. So at the end of the day, many people know about our petition and may sign it. Well, this is a thank you page. So when you sign, then you go and thanks for signing. thanks for signing. Now share it. And then we include these 3 big buttons, so you can share via email, via Facebook, or via Twitter. You know, you don't have to scroll down. It's on the top of the page, and well, there's also like a bar that counts the number of signatures. So 11 people have signed. Help us get to 100 signatures. So you know, if you sign, you'll see that will go to 12. So that provokes, you know, this is social proof. There is one book by Professor Robert Cialdini. It's called Influence, and he explains that there are like 6 weapons in order to influence the people. And you can influence for the good or for the bad. And you know, this bar is one of the weapons, which is social proof. So if everybody's signing, I want to sign. That's okay. Again, thank you. Different parts of the page, and then the buttons. So how do we make, you know, how do we achieve this viral dissemination of our petitions? Well, writing compelling text. We try to identify hot issues. If the media is talking about a specific issue, you know, then it will work better, our petition, our campaign. These, what we call action alerts, the emails that we send asking our people to sign the petition, those are very, very important. We make sure that email is well crafted. This bar that counts the number of signatures, the thank you message, the thank you page, the share buttons, the form. If you go to CitizenGo and go to a petition, you'll find out that the form is on the right part of the website, it's on the top of the web page, and there's a big red button. And the form is very easy, you know. So all these elements have been thought to provoke, to help the people to sign our petition. Okay, the timing, you know, if there is a vote tomorrow in Congress, you know, you should send the email today. If there is a vote, you know, 1 month from today, maybe you can wait a little bit. Maybe send it, you know, a couple of days before the vote. So the timing is very important. Okay, well, that's something I already talked about. Well, if you wanna get new names for your list and you use change.org, do you know what's change.org? Okay, it's like a petition platform. It's open. It's mostly liberal. It's to the left, and it's a for-profit. So they earn money. So they earn money, and the investors earn money from selling the names to other organizations. So let's say you are Greenpeace. You create a petition at change.org. You know, change.org promotes your petition, and you get 100,000 new names. Then change.org will charge you $200,000. Yeah, it's pretty expensive. So they are very good names because people who have signed your petition, you know, that know about they have opted in. You know, it's not that they are selling you names that they say that people that care about environment. No, it's people that care about the campaign that you launched with CitizenGo. So what we do is pretty similar to what change.org does, but we do it for free. Okay, so yeah, I already talked about different ways that will help you. We'll help you write a petition, share it with our database. You know, we'll offer our technology, which is pretty good. It is pretty good not because we are very good, but because we have copied the best practices from change.org, from moveon.org. You might know about MoveOn. They are liberal, but they technically they are very good. Maybe avaz.org. So we have analyzed what they are doing, and we have extracted the best practices and implemented them in our website. And you will download the personal data of your signers. You don't have to ask for it. You just go with your password and download a spreadsheet. So yeah, that's how our petition works. So somebody signs, then shares with a friend, then the friend shares with another friend. So these would be new names added to the list. So that's how we do it and how you can do it. What can you do with a list of signers? You can do many things. You can ask to sign new petitions or new campaigns, join new campaigns, inform about your activities, so that nurturing that relationship building, advances, goes forward. You can request your people to see a video. You can ask your people to see a video and then to share it. You can invite to events, and you can fundraise. That's what you. So you can do many things. And of course, if you want to be influential, it's not just online petitions. You have to do many more things. If you are an advocacy group, you should, of course, use some of the ideas that we have heard here in the workers of families. Like I was in the last roundtable right before lunch, with Patrick Fagan and other people, scholars. So they have studied, they have produced documents. We should use their ideas. If we want to be, if we are scholars, if we are professors, we should do the investigation. But yeah, sometimes we just have to go to the people who have thought about these issues, and take their arguments, so that we are impactful, so that we produce an impact. It's not just pure activism and building a list. It's about changing things. Of course, we can use traditional media. So if we are able to be in radio talk show, if we are able to be on TV, if our campaigns appear on newspapers, that's wonderful. Still today, I think in America it's pretty similar. The politicians, the president or the minister or the secretary of state, whatever, they will every morning they will read the newspapers, and if they are mentioned, they will be in the first clipping. So if we're able to be there, it's another way to reach our politicians. They care a lot about what the media publishes. We can do direct lobby. We can contact politicians. We can go. Well, that's lobby. In Spain we use the word lobby. In Mexico they say cabildeo. That's it. But it's, the word that we use is lobby. It is an English word, and that's because you will go to the lobby of the Congress, of the Parliament, and then you would meet there with the congressman, with the senator, and that's something that you can do. And I know that you already do here in the States. You can maybe call your representatives and leave a message there. And then use social media to promote your petitions and to promote your ideas and to reach out to your audience. Again, I think that the email is the most powerful online channel to reach out to your people, but of course you should also be in social media. Also for visibility purposes, that's strategy number 3. And please build coalitions. Please talk to other groups, even if you don't agree on some certain issues with some group, you might launch a specific campaign on a specific issue where you share this same purpose, same objective. So please know that we need each other. We need all the groups, all the organizations that are part of the conservative movement in order to be successful. That's it. This is the team, part of the team. I'm sorry, it's not very much updated, the picture. And that's it. You can go to www.citizengo.org. Thank you very much. Before we finish, any questions or anything? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. What do you suggest on delivering the petitions? Strategies for that to make it most effective.
Okay. What we do when we want to be successful, we don't do it with every petition, but with the big petitions. Every time somebody signs, the target will receive, the decision maker will receive 1 email. So if 10,000 people sign, they will, the decision maker will receive 10,000 emails.
Oh, I see. So it goes directly.
Directly.
That's all.
That's how we do. We can tweak it. We can configure it so that it doesn't happen like that. But most of the time, we just leave it like that. And at the same time, besides that, we print all the signatures, and then we go, if we can, in person, or we may send it via postal mail. But usually go in person, we take some pictures, we publish the pictures in social networks, we share it via email, and we call the media. So if the media can come, we will, it's kind of, it's interesting for the media. You just go there with the signatures and you do some declaration, and that's what we do sometimes. Yeah.
And with the signature is just the name of the person that signed on the email, or just the name, or what?
Okay, so when somebody signs, the information that the decision maker, that the target receives, is like one email that you would send from your own Gmail or Hotmail account. So they will see your name, they will see your email address, they will see the message that you are sending. That's all they see. If you are an organization that creates one petition, you will have all the data that we record. That's the first name, last name in a different column, email address, zip code, and country.
Okay.
So that's what that you can download as an organization. Yeah.
Thank you.
How it's working? We know it's work to regions like Europe, but how it's work in local nations?
Okay. So you're asking how it's working in specific nations?
Yes,
Okay.
it's because in our country, I come from Latvia. In our country are similar platform, but they are so liberal and they always denied
Okay.
the petitions.
Okay, so that's why CitizenGo is very successful, because there is no conservative petition website. I mean, there are a couple, but they are not very big. And on the other side, on the liberal, on the left side, there are quite a few. And here in the States, in other countries. So, the biggest list is Latin America. I mean, it's Spanish-speaking Latin America. It's a list of almost 900,000 people. Second list would be Brazil, with a little more than 500,000 people. Well, in Spain we have another list of a little bit more than 500,000 people, by the way. Next would be English language, and that includes the States, the UK, Canada. Next language would be Poland, with a little bit more than 400,000. And then it would go like, I think, Italy, French, and German. That's it. And then Russian, and then Hungarian, and then Croatian. That's what we're working on right now. Yeah.
Have you had any direct contact with politicians as CitizenGo, or that depends on the person that asks for the petition to contact them?
Yeah, I mean, we give a lot of freedom to each campaigner. So some campaigners do a lot of direct lobby, like for instance, Magdalena from Poland. She's all the time, going to the Congress. She has been called for hearings. By the way, she's just, I don't know, how old is Magdalena? 24 years old. So she's very brilliant. She's doing a great job, and she's doing that type of job. In other countries, campaigns don't do that much. This personal contact with politicians. In Spain, we try to do that, right, for sure. But that's not our core. There's lots of groups that are already doing that, and they're doing it very well, and they should keep on doing that. I mean, we know that it's good to do it, or it might be even very good. But if we don't have enough time, our core is online petition. So we don't want to lose focus. That's why we don't do it in every country. Okay. I mean, if we had a lot of money, like a huge donor, we'd have everything. But since that's not the case, then we have to, think strategically and decide what's the core. Okay. Any more questions? Yeah.
How do you know that your efforts are not being duplicated by someone else? Will you quickly find that out somehow?
I mean, if that happens, and that someone else is conservative,
Yes.
I would be very happy. I will give you all the,
So you
all
could
these
either keep going yourself or
Yeah.
jump on with them or something?
Yeah, I mean, we would keep on going and, maybe join efforts in some cases. But I think it's, I mean, I believe in the guerrilla type of war. It's not like we have one
Everywhere.
general that organizes everything.
Yeah.
I'm talking about in each country, not even globally for sure, but in each country it's good that there is one group, then this other group is similar but it has slightly different focus or different, so
That might
it's very
perk
good that
the
there is
interest.
hundreds of thousands of groups. And if some other group creates like a petition website like ours and is defending life and family, that's good. I mean, that's yeah.
That's curious, in this, we promote this with our own lists and get them to sign, and hopefully they'll pass it on to others.
Yeah.
You'll promote it as well.
Yeah.
But once somebody from our organization, for example, signs
Yeah.
the petition, what then becomes their experience with CitizenGo?
Uh-huh. Okay, their experience is they will receive, they will receive a welcome email, thanks for joining CitizenGo. They will receive, the thank you for signing this petition. And then they will receive about, I would say an average, well, depending on the language, but I would say that like an average of 2 or 3 emails per week with campaigns related to life, family, religion, most of them. So they will. Some of them are global campaigns, like let's say United Nations. Most of them will be local campaigns, like U.S. issues. And then that will happen during, I would say, like around 2 or 3 months. After 2 or 3 months, they will start receiving fundraising appeals from us. That's how we fund our work. So and then they will keep on receiving fundraising appeals. And many more emails of other types, like share this video or sign this petition. Most of it will be sign this petition.